700 meters south is your target. And we can see tracers going everywhere. I mean, the valley was on fire. And, and I just didn't, and again, I'm looking through NVGs. I have no way to range this thing. And so I just told K9, I said, look, I'm going to put 2 Willie Pete's down because, as you know, Willie Pete's highly effective at night on goggles. It stays there for a while. So I said, I'm going to put 2 Willie Pete's down to try to create a yardstick to figure out ranges so we can start moving off of that. And so I put the rocket closest to him where I thought maybe 700 meters was. And he told us from the closest rocket, move it 300 meters closer. So now I go, okay, then that rocket's at about 1,000 meters, so at about a click, but now, by the way, we're dropping Airburst Mark 82s, which we didn't have, they never Seek Eagled risk estimate distances for the Airburst. So the rule of thumb at the time was 1,000 meters. You didn't want to go inside of that. And now I have no idea if he knows it's 700 meters or not. Now he's moving it even closer.
Yeah.
And so, needless to say, the seat cushion's up my rear end at this point. And I'm really worried about killing friendlies. But, they're in heavy contact, so we got to do something. And so I'm now trying to climb back to altitude. And I told K9, I'm like, okay, there's the yardstick, move it 300 meters closer. Let's rip 2, because dumb bombs, we're never going to drop a single, just because of the accuracy issue. And so I said, just rip 2, try to bracket it, because these guys are out in the open and they're spread out anyway. So he rolls in, cleared hot, and 2 bombs go off, and it seems like an eternity till I hear something on the radio. I'm convinced we killed them, our guys, or at least fragged the kid on the radio. And it was probably temporal distortion, a couple tenths of a second, but he comes back, shack, on target. We are no longer taking effective fire, and we are retrograding to the north. And so they immediately broke contact, and we got lucky.
In the weeds question for bracketing, dropping those bombs, is that something that you could set up in the system in the A-10 where you could set the distance apart, or is it ripping off 2 or doing like a north, south, east, west run in and ripping 2 off?
You're in the old A-10A, it's you're flicking a little rotary dial
to do
and
that.
you,
Okay.
you tell the system, I'm going to rip singles versus ripping pairs. So the jet would either rip a pair or rip singles, and then you're setting the milliseconds. So all of our deliveries, we knew to get optimal spacing of 75 feet between the bombs, how many milliseconds you would set based on the dive angle.
Okay, so you can just like me type in 75 feet.
There was a lot of math we did at weapons school to figure this out.
I was like, that just made my brain hurt. Again, I'm thinking. So I figured it was something really complicated. Looking back on it, have you timestamped it with the video that's come out with Sergeant Chapman? I think it's this. You guys are about a day later after that, correct? But I guess is Grace, and they're showing up like the morning.
That morning, we showed up that night.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they're egressing. They're still pulling dudes off the mountain. We have no idea this has even happened. Like, we have no idea what Roberts Ridge is at this point. Like, This is a completely separate operation going on because, if you think back about the time frame, CAF-SOF integration didn't exist. So the SOF guys are executing in their own little stovepipe of excellence. So there's 2 gunships out there that I will later have a conversation with. I think Mike Martin's now a 2-star special tactics officer. So Mike Martin was standing on the deck of the gunship and got an entire full planform silhouette of my airplane in the windscreen coming off of that rocket pass. Because they're below me. I have no idea they're there. I do a diving delivery. I'm just pulling off. They're blacked out. I'm blacked out. We don't even have IR lights on. And he sees this A-10 fill the entire windscreen of an AC-130. and had a significant emotional event, as he would later tell
Yeah.
me. But we didn't know that was going on. Like, they're in the middle of this evac, this CASEVAC on top of Roberts Ridge. And we were completely oblivious to it. Like, I did not even know that had happened until a week later